Sanjeev Bijli, welcome to CNN News 18.
Thank you so much. How are you?
Very good, sir. How are you?
I'm good,
Sanjeev, sir,
thanks.
you are, of course, the executive director of PVR Inox Limited. But today you're talking to me as one of the curators of the upcoming Red Lorry Film Festival, which will be held in Mumbai from April 5th to April 7th. First, congratulations, sir. You've been bringing movies from Hollywood or across the world for many years now. But to start with, how it works, how many films you actually watch before deciding the final lineup of the films for this inaugural edition of the Red Lorry Film Festival?
Um, there are about 100 films that will be screened in the Red Lorry Film Festival. First of all, I'm very happy and excited that BookMyShow and our friends at BMS, both the Ashishes, have put together this incredible film festival. I think it's wonderful to have as many film festivals as possible in India because it just makes our job as a cinema exhibition company a little easier. Because what these film festivals end up doing is they whet the appetite of the consumer. They're exposing them to films, not just local films or Indian films, but even international films. And they enhance the desire to watch films on the big screen. So, I mean, of course, I'm very happy and grateful to the organizers of all film festivals across the country, and in this case, also BMS and Red Lorry Film Festival, and thank them for obviously inviting me to be a part of it in some way and be the curator. And to answer your question, yeah, hundreds of films are screened and watched, and then the decision is taken as to which films will be screened in these 3 days in Bombay at both of our properties, Maison Inox and Maison PVR.
So then, what was the selection process like? Like, which points you kept in mind while selecting each film?
Well, more or less, I think film festivals tend to focus more on films that are very rich in content and rich in storytelling. And they resonate with the people. There is something different about them. There is something exciting about them. Of course, they're coveted films, the ones that people are looking forward to. They're not necessarily niche films, they're just coveted films. They won some awards internationally, and they also have a very sort of good storytelling, because films are all about storytelling and how you kind of translate that page onto a screen. And that whole journey is what makes it a good film. So these are the basic criterias, one looks at when you're choosing the films.
So, which are the award-winning films that will be screened? I know Poor Things is one, which I'm very excited to watch it again.
Which one?
Poor Things?
Poor Things. Yes, yes, yes. That's one of them. Yes. There's Sidon in Japan, which is a French film. There's Hesitation World, which is a Turkish film. There's Blue Whale. There's a Russian film. So, these are the films that are outside the purview of the Oscars and other awards. I mean, these are the films that you may not have heard of, but the incredible international films that have won awards.
Is there a country that is in focus for this year's edition of the festival?
No, there is no specific country that's in focus. And as I said, there are films that are being screened from all over the world. So there's no one country focused right now, but this is basically a global film festival where films from all over the world are getting screened.
Do you have a favorite film or a filmmaker from this year's lineup?
I do. I have several actually. I think from the films that in the retrospect section where we're showing older films. I love David Lean's Lawrence of Arabia, which is being screened. I loved Orson Welles' A Lady from Shanghai. I also obviously love Jerry Maguire, which is a recent, not very recent, but now is kind of a
Are they?
old.
I'm talking about. Are they part of this year's lineup?
Yes, they are. Yes, they are.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. So these are the films. And then, of course, some of the films that are being shown, like Civil War, Alexander Garland, his films and his work, I follow very closely. So yeah, so there's some very incredibly talented directors and filmmakers that I'm looking forward to watching.
But then, do you also follow some of the directors or the specific topics uh, about cinema?
In general, I mean, yeah, there are several directors whose work or whose films I would never miss. Like, of course, Christopher Nolan, who won the Oscar this year for Oppenheimer and Best Film. I think his films I follow very closely and look forward to when they come out. Steven Spielberg's another director that I look forward to watching. Uh, Makoto Shinkai, whose anime film Suzume, we had distributed his films. I look forward to when they come out. And of course, in India also, I look forward to Rajkumar Hirani films, Karan Johar films, there are so many directors in India as well that I look forward to. Yeah, so it's actually because I do feel this is a director's medium, and what they make is what appeals to you as far as the film is concerned. Yeah.
So then, what can cinephiles experience at this 3 day long festival, which will be held at Maison Inox at Geo World Drive, which is considered one of the most opulent theaters of Mumbai?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think for any cinephile, a film festival, first of all, is very exciting because it gives you something different. And in these 3 days, you can buy a pass and watch as many movies as you can in these two venues. And what you can watch are films which are coming from the retrospective section as well. Like I said, maybe Jerry Maguire, which you want to watch again, or films which are not yet released at all, and also films from around the world. French, German, Russian, Turkish, Scandinavian films of different languages, which have a certain appeal, and which have a mass appeal. These are the kind of films that they can watch in these 3 days. So I think it's a delight for people who like to watch films on the big screen and watch different genres and different kind of films.
So then, how accessible will these films be to the members? I mean, how many people can watch, say, a big film?
The tickets are available for the 3 day festival at a certain price, and they can watch these films at that for that ticket for that pass. Sorry, for the 3 day pass, they can watch as many films as they want to in these two venues.
Then, what are the some drawbacks or benefits that comes with when you're watching a film as a curator and not as an exhibitor?
The benefits, of course, are very visible that I actually get to watch a lot of films, which are global cinema and award-winning and well-acclaimed films. The drawbacks and challenges are that these films, which I end up loving when I'm watching them, don't necessarily make a mainstream release in India. So they don't come to the cinemas. So that, of course, if I like a film that I'm watching, if it's Russian, if it's Turkish, I love it as a cinegoer and as a curator. But these films don't end up coming to India for general release. And I feel that as an exhibitor, sometimes I want all movies to get released in India, so that not only we are able to provide a bouquet of films for our audiences, but also we're able to show these kind of films all over India. But these movies don't make it to India in general release.
Coming back to Red Lorry Film Festival, then are there any experimental films or a format that cinephiles can experience for the first time?
Um, I think there is a lot there, I think there is Civil War is an English film that we picked up in one of the festivals, which is the opening night film now. I think that is very experimental, but only after watching it, you'll be able to see, and figure out what it's all about. Then there are a couple of French films, Le Consentment and Le Procès Coleman, which are very different in terms of their narrative and storytelling. Uh, Pretty much like what Anatomy of a Fall was or Zone of Interest was. I mean, these two films have been released in India, and I'm glad they came and got released in India because they had such different storytelling method, and they were so incredibly made. So I think there is a lot of that different format and storytelling that is going to come out of the films that we're showing and curating in this film festival as well.
Civil War, of course, created a lot of buzz at the recently concluded South by Southwest Film Festival in America.
Yes, it did. Yes, absolutely.
And finally, which are the new screens that PVR will be opening in Mumbai? I know you have of course acquired Chandan Cinema in Juhu.
No, Chandan, not at all. Are we doing Lido? Lido is in Juhu as well. In Mumbai, the next one after Sangam that we opened recently is going to be Lido Cinema in Juhu. But then outside, and then Eros Cinema, we just opened recently about 2 weeks ago. And then after that, we have something coming up in Borivali, which is going to be later in the year. But outside of Mumbai, also, there are some very exciting screens and exciting projects opening up.
We're looking forward to watch movies at the Red Lorry Film Festival. Many thanks for talking to us. We're looking forward to lots more. Thank you so much for your time and best of luck, sir.
Thank you so much.